Today I'm going to talk about strabismus. Strabismus is what some people called cross-eyed, which isn't really accurate because cross-eyed would mean that, let's say that these are like eyeballs or pupils, that both pupils were very close together. But with strabismus, basically one eyeball is looking straight on and the other eyeball is close together. So if I didn't have strabismus, the eyeballs would be like maybe this far apart, but with strabismus the eyeballs are closer together. Also with strabismus you have singular vision, so I can only see out of one eye at a time. So if I'm using this eye, my right eye, it will be straight on and my left eye will appear turned in because it's closer together than it should be. But then if I look out of my left eye, so I'm looking out of my left eye, then my right eye will appear closer. So if you have strabismus and you don't have the surgery, there are some tricks you can do. One thing is to wear glasses and to wear small frame glasses and to angle your head. So I'm angling my head so I'm not really looking straight on. I kind of am angling my head so I'm looking, kind of tilting it a little bit. So I'm looking out of more the right side of my face. So you can see if you have the bigger glasses, your strabismus is more obvious. But with the small glasses and with the angling, that's a good way to cover up. But I'm going to take off my glasses and I'm going to shift my head so I'm looking straight on and you'll be able to see it more clearly. So right now I'm looking out of my right eye and you can see that my left eye appears turned in because of the distance between my two eyes. Now I'm going to change over to my left eye. So now I'm looking out of my left eye and you can see that my right eye appears to be turned in. So I'm going to switch again. Right eye, left eye, right eye, left eye. I also wanted to say that this is the second time I'm getting the surgery. So this is me when I was an adorable baby. I feel like I was born with the strabismus because I feel like here I'm not really focused, but my two eyeballs do look kind of closer together. It's just both of them are a little closer together. So this actually truly does look like cross-eyed. And then this is a picture of me here when I was probably about maybe 2 years old. And you can see here the cross-eyed, the right eye turning in is more obvious. And then the photographer tried to angle me to make it not so obvious. So I'm getting the surgery tomorrow. Good luck to me. Hopefully tomorrow I will be seeing straight out of both eyes. And here we go. For now, do my angling trick and cover up for my strabismus. Alright, I had my surgery this morning for strabismus and I went in at about 7:30. It was funny because this surgery is mostly done for children. I had the surgery done when I was 4. This is the second time I'm having it done a little over 50 years later. So in the pre-op room they had a wiper that was all covered with pictures and fun facts, like that otters hold their hands when they sleep, that giraffes lick their ears with their tongue to clean them, and what was the other fact? Oh, sharks are the only fish that can blink, and cute pictures. There's a picture of a minion, and Tom, my husband, went in with me, which was awesome. Very important to have him in there all day. This is like actual real surgery. The anesthesiologist came. Oh, I'm making a movie about my strabismus.
Okay.
And the anesthesiologist came. There had like 2 nurses, then he had 2 nurses, then my regular doctor came, and he was awesome. So one thing I did not realize was just really how like raw and like bloody the eye looked, like really severely. The white is just all really bright red. I can open my eye, I'm just kind of sparing you the details right now. So if you can't or don't want to see too much, you know, graphic eye stuff, you know, you might want to turn off the video for the moment. Just listen to the audio. One thing they did tell me is that I would be crying pink tears for a while, so I don't know how we'll see any of those. So I'm going to go ahead and open my right eye. So that's it. It does hurt. I was told it was going to itch, but I wouldn't really describe it as an itch. More like if you picked your nail way too deep, that kind of pain. I guess it itches a little bit, but it's more like that raw, stub your toe kind of pain. But definitely manageable so far. I think all the narcotics or whatever they gave me through the IV. I did have an IV in my hand. I think all that has worn off. I couldn't eat for the day before, so I started off with a IV, just liquid, and then the anesthesiologist came. They said they were going to give me laughing gas, which I thought would be kind of fun, but it was over. What they do, and I remember this from before, they kind of get you talking about something that you're interested in, and then in like 10 seconds you're asleep. And then I woke up in the recovery room, and for the longest time I couldn't open my eyes, or was kind of afraid to open my eyes, but I was wiggling around a lot to try to catch someone's attention, but everyone was just ignoring me. They let me wake up very slowly, and then I could open my left eye, and then I opened my right eye, and they had the ointment in there, so it was kind of blurry, and I'm supposed to put ointment in 3 or 4 times a day. There are stitches in my eyes, in my right eye. Oh, he marked me. Can you see the mark? So that's making sure that he would do the surgery on the correct eye. I guess with strabismus, you could do the surgery on either eye, but he chose to do it on the eye that I had surgery on before. And as he put it, did not give me the greatest confidence, but he said, if this doesn't work, at least I'll have a fresh eye to work on. You kind of don't want your surgeon like making contingency plans before, but I did respect the honesty and that there was a backup plan. So I'm not sure if the surgery worked yet, and I should have asked him, like, you know, would I see the eye straightening right away? Will it change over time? Maybe I'll give him a call and ask him the question. But you can judge as far as if you can look beyond the red disgustingness of like how straight my pupils are. So this is the right. I'm looking out of the right eye. Oh, it's a little harder. I'm looking out of the right eye, and now I'm looking out of the left eye, and now I'm looking out of the right eye, and now looking out of the left eye. I'm afraid to do cross-eyed. I'm not going to do that. No fooling around. And yeah, after the surgery, I came home. I couldn't eat the night before, but as soon as it was over, you could eat anything. So I did kind of have a headache because I think of caffeine. You know, I didn't have my morning coffee. So they gave me coffee and toast. Oh my gosh, I try not to eat like white flour, so white toast, 2 pieces of white toast with butter and coffee. Oh, it's so delicious. And then on the way home, I had a Burger King burger with extra pickles, another thing that I never have, and some Diet Coke. And then, believe it or not, even after all that caffeine, I went right to sleep. I pulled over my little parrotlet's cage, so he was talking to me and chattering and helping me distract me, and I fell right to sleep with my little American Eskimo dog at my feet. And I will check back, see how long it takes for this redness to go away, and we will see whether the eyes are straight. You know, also too, I'm very close to this camera. It might look different a little farther away, so I'm going to try to go back a little bit. Let's try that. Try going back a little bit. Okay, let me try to focus it. Because really, being that close would kind of be in someone's personal space. This is probably more accurate. So I'm going to look out of my right eye. Try to open my eyes a little bit wider, even though it kind of hurts more when I open them wider. Right eye. Left eye. Right eye. Come here, Roxy. This is my sweet American Eskimo dog. Can I have a kiss? Come here. Come here. Come here. Give me a kiss. Give me a kiss. Yes. Yes. This is Nurse Roxy. This is Dr. Rox. Hello, Dr. Rox. Yes, she's been helping me to heal. And alright, I think I'm going to close my eye back again. Go lie down on the couch. Take it easy today. Maybe watch a movie. Lucky Logan I've been wanting to watch. So, oh, also too, a little bit TMI. If some mucus comes out of my nose, it's also the pink stuff. Alright. Well, if you have strabismus and are going to do the surgery, hopefully this helped you a bit.
After 18 months, are you glad you did it?
I'm very glad that I did it.
Why?
I'm glad that I did it because I think that it really helps mostly in a work setting. It's difficult when you can't look straight on at people. I had kind of showed some angling methods that you can use when you're talking with one person, but if you're in a conference room and there are people on both sides, your eyes are going to look like they're wandering or that they're not looking at somebody in the face. I feel like even though it's not really purposeful, people are very uncomfortable when you're not looking straight on at them. Sometimes even when I was talking to someone straight on, they would be looking over my shoulder, depending on where my pupils were focused. So I think it makes people more comfortable with me in a work setting and a professional setting, and then that makes me feel more comfortable. It's interesting because people close to me, like my daughters, my family, my close friends, they said they didn't even really realize that my eyes were not straight. But in a work setting or when you're first meeting somebody, it's really important to be able to look people in the eye. I decided that I wanted to do it probably about 4 years ago. It was kind of a lot of stops and starts as far as getting it done. You can't just walk in and get it done. You have to go in for many appointments where they really measure your eyes, because they are basically going to pull the distance apart, and they want to understand if your eyes are stable and how far apart they are. It really is an art. It's important to get a doctor that has done this many times. Otherwise, it could be overcorrected so that your eyes actually go out, or it cannot really work very well. And then again, even if the doctor does everything right, your eyes just might not respond as expected. I just used the local doctor, but it turned out that I was very fortunate. He does this operation all the time. Even his assistant who was working with me, she had her eyes corrected by him and gave him high recommendations. This surgery is actually done mostly on children, occasionally on adults, but was really his specialty, and he's very good at it. There were a lot of visits, so I would say you have to go every maybe 2 or 3 weeks for maybe 6 times or longer, and then you have to schedule the surgery out a couple of months. And the first time that I went for the appointments, I actually didn't finish them, and then a couple of years later I started it up again, and I went through it. And they do really make sure that you're committed to having the surgery, because even though it is important, it's also cosmetic. People ask me a lot. They assume that that I was doing it so that it would correct my vision, but that's not the case. It just really straightens out your eyeballs. It does not do anything to correct your vision.
So does insurance cover it?
Yes, I was surprised. And again, like the picking of the doctor, I didn't really look into it very carefully. And I was sort of afraid that I was going to have to pay for this myself. But my insurance did pay for the surgery. So I didn't have a lot of apprehensions, but I think that is just me. So you probably should have apprehensions when you go into this. Like, I'm not the kind of person that watches a lot of YouTube videos or looks at the statistics, but I did have to sign a piece of paper saying that I understood that there were risks. Because not only does it not correct your vision, it actually could impact your vision negatively. There actually is one impact to my vision post-surgery, which is my night vision in that eye is not as good at very low lights. So when I close the eye that had the surgery on it compared to the eye that didn't have surgery, more light gets in and I can see things better at very, very low light. And that's, I don't know, cones and rods, but it's when you're in your black and white vision mode. So I think the most important thing is you want to get a really good doctor. Don't be like me and just luck on getting somebody who's exceptional. You want to make sure that this is a person that they primarily do this. They do this all the time. They've had a lot of success with this surgery. And then two, you have to understand the risks that you potentially are going to have your vision become worse after this, and potentially the surgery might not work at all, or it might under or overcorrect the problem, so you just have another problem. So I really had to wear sunglasses mostly because I was trying to spare people the look of my eye. So the whole eye was really like red. So my eye, other than, the pupil, the entire eye was red. And also at first I was crying like red tears. Another thing that I didn't realize is that they actually put 4 stitches in my eye. So one on the top, one on the bottom, one on the top, one on the bottom. And so, if even when it started to clear up, you could see that there were stitches in my eye. So I wore the sunglasses really more so people looking at me wouldn't see how, disgusting my eye looked. Yes, so as I said, this was in October, so there's like a lot of holiday gatherings. There was also, was going to a movie premiere for a movie that I had worked on in New York City, so I did wear sunglasses to that event.
So what was it like wearing sunglasses to the event in New York City?
It was fine. I really just wore it more for pictures and for things like that. When I was watching the movie, I took the sunglasses off, or I could just, again, I could angle myself. Another trick I would do is I would angle myself in the corner if we went to a restaurant or something and have the vile eye on this side and just really be talking to people, with the good eye. But one thing I didn't realize was how painful it was going to be. The day after the surgery, I wasn't in a lot of pain, but they had really given me a lot of anesthesia, which hadn't really worn off yet. And I think I had said that right after the surgery, it felt kind of like if you had stubbed your toe or if you had, bitten your fingernail too much, but on your eye. But then that pain just went up to the next level. So imagine you stubbed your toe and then you stubbed your toe again, or that, you pulled your fingernail off again, but it's in your eye. So it was really painful at first. And then I did have a patch also. The patch I wore at night because I just wanted to make sure that I didn't touch my eye accidentally while I slept. And I could have worn a patch instead of sunglasses, but I don't know. I felt sunglasses were better than the patch as far as aesthetically. I did work from home for a while, rather than going in with my eye looking like that. And then the next stage was a stage where the stitches were really itchy. And so it was just like, I just wanted to just tear them out of my eyes. It was so itchy. So that stage lasted for a while. And then the stitches were actual stitches, actual brown stitches. And they one by one fell out of my eye. So it was just kind of like, stitch falling out of your eye.
So how long did it take for the redness and the pain to subside?
It took a while, which I didn't realize. I kind of thought, I was super naive. I was like, oh, I got my eyes fixed. I'm gonna, my eyes are gonna be straight, and I'm gonna be getting contact lenses. But really, like, you have to wait probably at least 3 months, and then go back to your doctor, and then see if you're ready for contact lenses. I actually haven't got contact lenses yet, but I will. I'll get contact lenses now that my eyes are straight.
Any final thoughts?
So even though the surgery is cosmetic, I think it's still important. I feel like it was a huge boost to my confidence, and also to the way that people respond to me that don't know me or know me in a professional setting. It makes them more confident and more comfortable with you. I feel like it helped me professionally to have my eyes straightened. I just feel better about myself. It is uncomfortable when people are looking over your shoulder, or you can tell that they are uncomfortable about about the way that you are looking. People feel a lot more comfortable if you can look them straight in the eye. So if you do decide to get this surgery, I wish you luck, and I wish you success.